I would like to invite once again Ritika, which is the Misc project lead, to share some final words and reflections from today.
Thank you so much for inviting me back. And I promise this won't take long. We'll just go through some of the last things I have to share with you. But firstly, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate the time and the effort that you have made to accommodate Melbourne International Student Conference 2021 into your schedule for a day that's been full of workshops, panels, keynotes, and in all has just been really inspiring. Personally, when I reflect on the last 18 months and what the pandemic um, has influenced in my life, I mean, I'm grateful in the sense I can still go and do my lab work and what I count as my 9 to 5 without any influence because it's considered essential. But it's really impacted how I feel about the world. I miss having things to look forward to. I miss having events, having opportunities to connect with people. I mean, I'm a really social person who loves making connections. So I really feel that COVID has robbed me of that opportunity. So personally, I've just found this conference today to have met so many of you through networking, through the different panels, through the different chat boxes, just really inspiring and has just made me a little bit more hopeful for tomorrow. I mean, yesterday we had an earthquake and protest in the middle of the pandemic. So today everyone's, feeling a little bit like, what's next? I don't know what's next. I can't tell you that, but I can say that as long as we do it together, we'll be fine. International students bring so much to the table. And as Christine was saying in the talk earlier, like, don't be scared to take up space. It is okay. I find often prefacing my asks or my requests with, sorry to bother, is that okay? Would you mind? Instead of just saying, hey, I need this, could you please make it happen? I mean, why should I be sorry for things that are needed? And it's not my fault per se. So thank you for opening us on such a great note, Christine. And before I continue recapping the rest of the conference, I'd like to pay a special thank you to Meld Community, the organizer of this event, that's given us the opportunity to meet us today on a free conference that's been accessible both for you if you're based in Melbourne, but more importantly, for you if you're based overseas. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of other places do the same, have opportunities for the students who are stuck overseas. So thank you, Meld Community, and of course our partners, City of Melbourne. We are so grateful for our continuing relationship and the support we have from you. We could not do this without you. And I am just lucky to be an international student in Melbourne. Special thank you to Deputy Lord Mayor Nicholas Rees, who we heard from in the morning in the opening address. And also I would like to acknowledge Councillor David Griffiths, who was attending the conference with us. And some of you may have spoken to him in the chat box. And personally, I'd really like to say a big thank you to Gary Lee and Joanne Hall at the City of Melbourne for their continuous support and mentorship and just really their help in putting this event together. I have a big thanks to say to you on behalf of the entire Meld community and Miss team. So thank you. I would also like to recognize our silver sponsors, Scape and Project Global Citizen, for supporting this conference this year. In the pre-event delegate briefing pack that was sent out to you quite late last night, they have their emails and their websites hyperlinked, so you're welcome to go check them out. And so, as I was saying, this day has been full of hope and looking forward to the future for me. And so after Christine, we heard from a panel where, Fifi, Suki, and Michael, they spoke about what's it like to have a meaningful and passionate career. And that's really important because that's the only thing that would drive you forward, right? What is something that makes you look forward to the next day? Like, oh, hey, I've run out of time today, but thank God I have a day tomorrow because I get to do this again. So, Fifi, I loved your concept of instead of 7 to 3, adding points, 5.3, 3.5, 7.1, because yes, there are so many opportunities and I really, really relate to it. Suki told me in a chat once before that he wanted every international student to write a book. So if you do write a book after this conference, please don't forget to acknowledge Suki and his inspiration. And Michael, thank you for being you. You are amazing and you give us so much inspiration and strength. And also just to see how far you've come in the short time that you've been in Melbourne. So thank you for being the inspiration that you are. To Emma, um, thank you for saying that you have to lead with empathy, because I think it's really important that people in leadership positions understand where others are coming from. You know how we were reflecting about how some of the journeys seem so far away. I think it changes a lot and it makes it more accessible to people who are stepping into those roles if people in leadership positions treat them with empathy and inspire them, empower them, and support them to grow into those leadership roles. So thank you for bringing that to the table. Asha, I loved your toolkit with empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test, iterate, with the overall theme of empathy coming up again. I loved how you landed your jobs, and it is so true. If you want to step out of the crowd, you have to do something that the crowd is not doing. So thank you for sharing that toolkit with us. And I also love being able to make my pitch on the spot. So this was a great workshop for students who've never had to do that before. Mehboob, I just say that I had never heard of the adaptability quotient before, and I can never unhear it now. That was just absolutely amazing for giving us so many practical tips and tools that we can use to shine our brand on LinkedIn, and reaching out and making a space for ourselves in the world in line with what the other speakers had been saying throughout the day. So thank you for that. In our last panel, we heard from Hope Looney and Makia about their success stories. And Hope, can I please emphasize how much I love that success is only sweet when shared? Again, going back to empathy and going back to being inspiring leaders to other people. Yes, success for me personally as well is only important when it is shared. And Looney, she's not with us right now, but she's been doing some amazing work from Melbourne going back to Malaysia. And I know there's so much stigma attached when people feel, oh, you spend time here, but then you're going back, as if that was the backup plan. But for a lot of people, that is the only plan. And which ties in with what Makia was saying, there's no right decision. Make a decision or take a decision and make it right. And I 100% stand by it. So thank you so much for sharing those learnings with us today. A very, very special shout out to the 15 leaders who came with us on this 6-week leadership journey, where we covered some professional strengths and some personal development sessions. This conference would not have been possible without you. Thank you for all the hard work you put in pre-conference today, and you would be putting in after. These 15 leaders represent the bigger international student community we have in Melbourne. And so I feel we've been able to create something that's meaningful and has had a purpose, not just for me, not just for the organizing committee, but also to the wider population. And thank you so much, Jaden and Kim, for being our fantastic MCs. And last but very importantly, I would also like to thank the management team behind at Melbourne International Student Conference, Miss Anne, Dawn, and Louise. Thank you so much for your work in putting this together year after year. And this year, really, we've come such a long way trying to make things happen online, second year in a row, trying to face whatever the world throws in our face. Earthquake, thank God, like this wasn't an in-person event. I was just looking back, we were feeling sad that we couldn't hold an in-person event, but looks like it was a great idea after all. Maybe the building wouldn't be safe to enter today. So thank you for your sustained efforts and your continued mentorship and support. I feel very privileged to be working with you in a team. And my last ask for all the attendees today, the star of the show, and I hope that you take away some learnings that would make you a better person for the days to come. So I don't want you to attend this conference today and then forget about it tomorrow. I want to see how you're using this to change your daily lives, how you're using this to change your little actions every day. if you want to create a big change in the world and you tell me you can't make your own bed every day, how are you going to change the world? So I want to know what those little actions are that you're going to take from this conference today. And so we would love to hear from you. I'm just popping in some links in the chat for you. Please let us know how this conference was for you. If you don't tell us, we have no way of improving it in the future. So do take 1 minute to fill out the feedback form. It won't take super long, I promise. And please do continue engaging with us. City of Melbourne is a wonderful place to be in, whether you're there physically or you're engaging with City of Melbourne virtually. And there are avenues to engage virtually. Links in the chat. Highly encourage you to just get involved, see what the world has to offer. As Luni said, take the opportunities. And also, if you are interested in what we do here at Meld Community, please go to the link I popped in the chat, and there are some opportunities to get involved as a volunteer. We've seen from Hope how volunteering has changed her life and has led her to the role that she has today. And yeah, Meld is a great place to work at, and I am very thankful to fellow board members. Very thankful to fellow board members who were here with us today and who've also supported the conference. And I see that we've got some issues with the feedback form. So if Anne-Louise, you could potentially pop another link into the chat, that would be awesome. Thanks for joining us today. That's all from me, and we'll send you some info after the event in a few days' time. Just before I leave you, I'm going to give you the right link, which Anne-Louise has just sent us in the chat. Lovely. Awesome. So please do fill out that survey. I'm going to close the live stream now, and we'll be in touch when the recordings are available. Okay. Thanks, everyone.